It's a very exciting time to be alive. We've got a new generation robot mower here. We're going to tell you all about it and take it for a test. It's an exciting time to be alive. We've got the Orion X7 by Sunseeker. Can you tell I'm excited? The reason I'm so excited about this Orion X7, it's a next generation robot mower. There's also a X7 Plus and a Pro. The difference between those threes is the size of the battery. So you can see this one says up to 0.75 acres, which is exactly what I have for a lawn size, so we'll test that out. But you've got the Plus, which has a larger battery, and it's good for 1.5 acre. Then the Pro, which they say is good for 3 acres. So you've got different options here. If you have a very large lawn, a robot mower still may be an option for you. Link to this bad boy is in the video description. This model, up to 0.75 acres, is retailing for $2,399. Upon opening the box, it's obvious it's packaged very well. We got an instruction manual, lots of foam protection, and there's no damage to the unit. We get a first look at it. The setup of this type of mower can be a little intimidating, but we're going to break it down into easy steps here, and we've got 3 main components that you need to worry about and set up. The first one is what's called an RTK antenna. This communicates with the satellites and needs clear view of the sky. So we've got a very nice mount here that we can adjust. This is very nice. So this can be mounted to the side of your house or shed or garage, and we need clear view of the sky to make this work. This also has the option to rotate up and be mounted on the ground somewhere, or a patio. A lot of different options here. This is a very nice mount. So that's the first main component, your RTK antenna. Second one is the mower itself. That's pretty self-explanatory. The third is the charging station. So this, with the vision system, this reflective decal guides this home once it gets close with the GPS. So to get this thing going, we have to mount our antenna and place our charging station. Those are the first things. Before we get into setup, let's review a few of the features of this and why I like robot mowers so much myself. We're buying a robot mower, but more importantly, we're buying time. And I am very into my lawn and lawn care, and this gives me the ability for absolute control on when and how often I cut the grass. You could hire a lawn service to cut the grass for you, but the costs add up rather quickly, and you'll quickly pay for this by having it instead of a lawn service. But it also gives you the flexibility to cut your grass every day, every other day, work around rain, things like that. So this mower you can have set up on a schedule. It has automatic rain detection, so it has a rain sensor here. In the app, if you choose to elect that, it will automatically go back to its charging station, stop mowing, and then resume once it stops raining. So that's very cool. This is the GPS sensor on the mower. We've got a large stop button. We've got a LCD display with a few control buttons. In general, you're going to control this thing through your smartphone, but it also does have some buttons here that you can use to control it. This has 2 large knobby drive wheels. This is good for up to a 70% grade. You can see the hillside behind me. We're gonna test this out. I need all of that capability. I've got a very challenging lawn with a lot of topography. We've got a pivot wheel on the back. So to control steering, this controls the speed and direction of these wheels, and then this trail wheel follows along on the back. Here's our cutting blades here. So this is a 14-inch width cut. We've got 2 cutting discs with these very sharp replaceable blades. It also does come with a pack of replacement blades, but that's something you can buy from the Sunseeker website. And there's just some Phillips head screws here, very easy to replace. The height of cut is set by positioning the mower deck here. You can do that in your smartphone, and it will precision set the position of the deck for your height of cut that you desire. This is 0.89 inches all the way up to 4 inches, so there's a very good range of height of cut. This is also waterproof design, so you can spray this thing off to keep it clean. The GPS antenna is here right in the middle of the bot. The vision system is up front. We can see it's a dual camera setup with a light in between. The dual camera setup is required to have depth perception, just like we have with 2 eyeballs, and it can kind of triangulate depth of things. So very cool, awesome technology. Moving on to installation and setup. Step 1 is to mount the RTK antenna. You want it someplace where it has a clear view of the sky and then access to an electrical. The length of the cable is very generous. I was able to come down below the ridge and tuck it into the edge of the vinyl siding, go around the corner, around this door, and down to the outlet. I do have a lot of trees on my property, so there's no spot I can get away with that, but this has a relatively open view of the sky. There's a few trees on the edges, but I got good signal in this location. I chose this location in an existing flower bed for the charging station because I'd prefer it not sit on the lawn and kill the grass. Now, in the directions, this is not an ideal location. You want something that is more unobstructed from both sides. But I will say I had no troubles with this, and it's a testament to how good the vision system is of this bot. And we'll see once we get the bot going, it navigates in this very tight space quite well. The kit does come with some plastic spikes to hold the entire assembly in place. Okay, we've got our charging base sorted. Everything's plugged in. Let's get the robot in here charging, then we'll set up the app on our phone. The mower does have a pretty convenient handle on the back. This quick start guide does have all the information walking us through this setup, and there's a QR code here to scan to get our Sunseeker app. We've got the app downloaded. Now we need to add our device. And to do that, there's these QR codes on the back of the mower to identify it. Look at that, that's pretty slick. So we just scan that with the app. Press the power button. The other security measure is a 4-number pin. It defaults to 000. So to use it, we have to unlock it. We got our phone paired and our Wi-Fi connected. The next step is mapping it. I'm gonna let it charge a while. The battery's 3/4, so we're gonna let that charge. Okay, we're on the charging station. We're ready to start mapping. Wait for Bluetooth to connect. Gives you some hints. Goes through a verification. Okay, we're gonna make a working area first. Got it. Okay. We're gonna put it to a boundary. Yes. And then start walking it around. As I'm traversing along the edge of the grass here, you can see on the app it's creating a trail. This trail is a bunch of GPS coordinates on the virtual map that's remembering this path. I did a big loop around the boundary and I'm back to my starting spot. So we're gonna say stop, confirm. And there we are, we just mapped. And our mower back at the charging station, we're gonna press play. And it's gonna start mowing. Now within the app we can select our cut height and our cutting efficiencies. It's fine-tuned. We'll change it to balanced. Leave it on standard. We can do centimeters or inches. So we're gonna cut at 2.6. Rain delay, good stuff there. Well, it's cutting on the app. If you're connected with Bluetooth, you can track the progress. It starts marking out areas that cut. So since this line isn't perfectly straight, the edge of the boundary, it's kind of filling in here where it's cutting. Then once it gets away from the boundary, it should just make perfectly straight lines and fill in the zone. So that's part of the reason it went over here too. If we take a straight line between the two, it's trying to work its way from right to left with straight lines. So right now I think it's taken this main cut here. I have a very irregular shaped lawn, as you can see, and then it'll probably come fill in this and then work its way to the left. The little Orion bot's just working away here from right to left on the map and getting it cut. You can see the grass is pretty short yet. It's real early in the growing season for us, so it's not growing very fast, so it doesn't really need to be cut, but we're doing a test mow. So I started just before 8 a.m. It's been about 4 hours, so it only took me a couple hours to get this thing set up and film with it. So setup went really good. I didn't have any connection problems. Everything just worked like it should. Of course, there's a bit of a learning curve as you have a new app and you navigated around that, but the machine didn't give me any errors or any problems there, so that's great. So I also had time to shower and change because I was cutting the edge of the woods there, cutting the brush back. Ticks are very prevalent this time of year with Lyme's disease, so that's something I don't want to mess around with. I want to wash them off before they have a chance to bite me if there's any on me. Hey, did you see that? I was standing in the way of the bot and the vision system picked me up and it was turning around before it hit me. Pretty cool. we'll keep watching this thing, and as it progresses across the yard and it comes back to auto recharge, we'll see how that all goes. But so far, it's a solid little bot. I like how it turns. It is all-wheel drive, so it has the two main big wheels and that back wheel, that idler wheel I called it. It's not really an idler wheel because it is powered, but it just pivots on those two big wheels, so it doesn't tear up the grass very much. It's a nice little bot. Once the battery gets below 25%, the robot automatically comes back to the charging station and docks itself and holds its place. So as soon as charging gets back to 100%, the battery's back to 100%, it will automatically come off the charging station and resume exactly where it left off cutting. You can see even with a tight area here, it did exceptionally well. Here's a time lapse of the bot cutting this area of the lawn. You can see it follows perfectly straight lines and fills in the cut area perfectly, guided by that GPS. Also, you can notice right there, the robot picked up that sand leveling I've done where I had some damage in the lawn, picked that up as an obstacle in the lawn and went around it. Here we can see the Orion encountering its first obstacle within the cut zone, a tree. And you can see the vision system detects it and drives the bot around it. This is pretty cool. I did not have to predefine these obstacles during setup. All I had to do was drive the bot around the perimeter of the lawn to set that geofence and let the bot go when it recognizes these obstacles on its own and works around them. Very cool innovation to this space, and this bot does a very good job at recognizing these obstacles and moving around them. As the Orion is progressing across the lawn, you can see it's in the other side of the tree and working around that obstacle yet. But what I was really impressed with and I wanted to show off here is that there's a swing in the way. But the vision system is calibrated well enough. It recognizes it can fit below the swing and does not count it as an obstacle. It drives underneath it to cut the grass, but does go around the tree. So, job well done. Here we can see the Orion traversing one of the steepest side slopes I have, and it did so without any slipping and tracks very well along this side hill. This is probably the most complex obstacle that I have in the yard. It's a combination of a couple boulders, a tree, and then a stump over to the left side. And I'll speed this up, but it's very interesting to see this robot make its way around it just using its vision system. I'm slowing this part down just to point out this is an area that's heavily shaded, so the grass doesn't grow great here. So there's quite a bit of mud, and this mowing resumed after we got 1.5 inches of rain, so it's pretty muddy. And with the turning setup and the 3-wheel setup that this machine has, you can see it's not even disturbing the mud there very much. So this is very easy on the lawn. It has to turn around a lot in these tight spaces to get around these objects and effectively cut the grass. But the good news is it won't tear up your grass while doing that. Here's another example of it working around a circular shaped flower bed. Again, just using that vision system and learning the shape of it and working it around. It's pretty neat. I could sit in a lawn chair and just watch this work its way around. Pretty entertaining. The mow job is finished. The Orion's back on the charging station. And I gotta say, setup for this bot was very easy. All we had to do is mount our RTK antenna, get our charging station placed, set the perimeter of our lawn, and then let it go. All these obstacles within that cutting zone, the vision system handles perfectly and goes around them. So very cool. Good job, Sunseeker. If you want updates on this lawnmower and other videos like this, the best way to make sure you don't miss them is to subscribe to my channel and turn those notifications on. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Adios.